Everyone, welcome back to my channel. Um, this video is going to be pretty much so you guys understand what I'm about and what I went through. It's not just about dentures. I will get into that in probably another part because I don't want to make this video too long. For all the people that go through autoimmune, you know, people don't get that with autoimmune, you can't see it. And, people are like, oh, you're depressed. Oh, it's depression. It has nothing to do with autoimmune. When I first started getting issues, like I was going through a lot of messed up family issues and going to court with my ex, my kid's father, and working two jobs. And I had a lot on my plate, a lot of stress, which is when it started. And it started with flu-like symptoms for months, like 6 to 8 months. And I went to doctors, and I'm telling you, it was my vascular surgeon who took out 8 clots of my leg that realized something is wrong. This isn't normal for somebody in their mid-20s. And he was the only one that would hear me. At the time, my primary now was just starting out and, out of med school, fresh becoming my primary, and she didn't even believe me. She was like, well, statistically, like, she was blindsided by everyone's different. And, you should trust your patient. Yeah, there's some people that are completely fucked up in the world and people that are, pain med seekers. And I even flat out, I don't want pain meds. I just need help because I was normal one day and then the next day I wasn't. And it feels like nobody will hear you. And my autoimmune test came back positive. Now, I want to let you know, they were like, oh, it could be a false positive. So they did it again, came back positive again. They did it again, came back positive again. Now, they waited months and months in between each one. Went to one rheumatologist. He's like, oh, the one I went to was like, oh, it's probably just fibromyalgia. Okay, really? Like, I'm not even kidding. There's times where I sat down. I was at Albany Med, by the way. First of all, the first rheumatologist I ever saw said I had Raynaud's, and he said everything else was pretty much in my head, and it's just stress because of what I go through. Like, they totally fucking ignored the multiple positive results because of my age. They told me I'm young and I look good, so I'm fine. That's what I was fucking told for fucking years. Years, that's what I was told. And it's like, you see all these doctors and, they confirmed I had Raynaud's because, he put it under the microscope, put some shit on my things and did whatever, and that's autoimmune 1. Then I saw that guy, I flat out dropped, went to Albany Med. Because the first one I went to was that Bassett facility where I was at. And then I went to an Albany doctor. One of them anyway. And I went through a series of them. And the first one was like, you're mimicking symptoms of lupus. It shows lupus. He goes, but the lupus test specifically is not coming back. He goes, it might be way too early. He goes, the only way to find out. He goes, and every rheumatologist that I mainly saw who's so naive, they apparently don't know every autoimmune. I had the nuclearal, whatever, NAA test. That was my pattern, was the nuclearal. And it was at 360, which shows in actual terms, I was positive for scleroderma. Because that is they were like, it's a non-specific pattern. Bullshit. Because that's the only fucking disease for that pattern. Fucking Google even said that. And I didn't even look at Google then. Didn't even look. So that guy left. And I got stuck with a different doctor. Now, this doctor cared. More than anything, he cared. And he goes, I really feel that you have this autoimmune scleroderma, but I don't know much about it. He goes, we're going to run a shit ton of tests, which he did. Some of them came back negative. Some of them didn't. Like, or they were like sketchy positive. Like it gave you, like I was borderline. So I could have been just starting out with certain autoimmune. And he goes, you have a lot of symptoms of lupus, but he goes, those tests are just not coming back. And I'm like, aren't the blood tests, not even legit sometimes? He goes, absolutely. He goes, but you need to have more symptoms for me to diagnose you. So for the only person that actually gave a shit fucking left and went to Stony Brook. Okay. Then I got stuck with these other two guys that told me everybody was wrong. That is just fibromyalgia. By the way, there's no test for fibromyalgia. There is no test. All they do is touch here, and, your pressure points. And if it hurts you, then you have fibromyalgia. They suck. You can't just diagnose somebody by touching them. That's bullshit. There's no legit. That's why if you look it up, fibromyalgia is very common. Why? Because everybody in the fucking free mother has it, and it's bullshit. They don't actually go digging into it. They just call it that and they end it. And then I just kept fighting and just find a new rheumatologist. Then I met this fucking bitch. Her head doctor came in and he was bound to me having lupus, which I do have lupus, by the way. Bound to me having lupus. And he had her look at me first. And she was like, it's all in her head. She's like, do you even have this problem? You just have too many symptoms. It's not even true. It's not possible. I put this bitch in her place real fast. Because you know what it's like to be told for fucking years that it's in your head? Do you have any idea what that's like to be told? People tell you every day that you're full of shit. Now it comes to the point where now they're causing your depression. And you're just fucking relentless trying not to give up. And her doctor, the head doctor came in and he was like, see this on her hand? See this, see this, see this? That's lupus. He goes, I'm telling you, she has lupus. And the girl just kept rolling her eyes. I'm like, you know what? You have some ignorant freaking student no, she's a student doctor underneath you. I'm like, do you see her rolling her eyes? She also told me it was in my head, and he looked at her like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But he's the one that put me on Plaquenil. I was on Plaquenil for 2 years. It ended up destroying my body, almost fucked up my kidneys. That's a whole other different story. Sometimes, meds, the ones for autoimmune, are actually extremely deadly. And we're actually playing Russian roulette to live. That's what it boils down to. Now, all these doctors can't diagnose me. Now, these are nine ANA tilter tests came back positive, and every time it's nuclear pattern, which is scleroderma pattern, specifically for scleroderma diffuse, by the way. Look it up. Diffuse scleroderma, not all diffuse, but this specific pattern, the nuclear pattern, is diffuse scleroderma. It says it everywhere. It's fact. And I just kept trying. And I went to a different doctor. Then I was told that this one doctor at Bassett, he's incredible. He has shitty bedside manners. And I was like, I don't give a shit if he's a dick. I'm like, if he's good at his job, he's good at his job. Now, I went to the office. I didn't know he was going to retire soon. I didn't know until after that appointment. But he was rude. But you know what? Have at it, buddy. You know what you're doing. And I won't talk. I'll answer your questions, whatever. You're looking at my file. You see what I've gone through. You see how many surgeries. You're doing your thing. He does the physical exam. And by the way, the nurse came in and warned me about his bedside matter. And I was like, chick, I don't care. As long as he does his thing, we're good. And I'm telling you, before him, I was going to give up. Because people made me feel like I was mental. I've never complained in my life. I sucked it up. I worked, busted my ass being an independent mom. Did everything possibly I could by myself. I never complained because I was in pain all the time. And why complain? It ain't going to fix shit. I was literally going to give up and said, Heather, just give it one more chance. Go see this doctor. That's what I was told. I was like, all right, I go. He's looking me over. I was with him for 2 hours. 2 hours, guys. And he's looking me over and look at my skin, look at everything. And he goes, listen, I'm not a specialist in this specific disease. He goes, you have a lot of signs of scleroderma. Your thighs are a main point of it. He goes, your entire chest has morphea spots. You're white and then dark spots all over your chest. He goes, I want you to see a friend of mine. His name is Dr. Shapiro. He's in Albany and Saratoga. He is a scleroderma specialist. He is the best. You need to go see him. All right. I was like, all right, I'm getting closer. Maybe. We'll see how it goes. So Dr. Shapiro, I see him. I try to loosen him up because he's and I'm a very woo person. So, not even kidding, guys. I am. I like to make light of situations. I think that's what I am. I try to make things chill. But I saw him, and he was talking to me about all these different things and blah, blah, blah. And towards the appointment, I'm like, so I don't have scleroderma. He goes, oh, no, you have scleroderma. He goes, your GI points to everything that you went through with your GI system and still are. The way the biopsy results of your esophagus. He goes, 9 times. He goes, actually make it 11. Because you want to count the other places, 11 times your ANA came back. Nuclear pattern. He goes, which is the specific diffuse scleroderma pattern? He goes, not all the time, but that's the pattern. Scleroderma is the only disease for that pattern. He's like, so why didn't they diagnose you? He goes, this is what bothers me. He goes, because when I retire, I feel bad that my patients are screwed. Because he said, you should have been diagnosed 6 years ago. What the hell happened? And he goes, but I know you have something else. He goes, we're going to do some tests, blah, blah, blah. Told me I have sarcoidosis. okay? Sarcoidosis is a rare autoimmune disease. It's just as rare as scleroderma. It fucks up your lungs, which I already am screwed anyway. I have nodules in my lungs, in my esophagus, in my intestinal area. I have it in my vocal cords and my thyroid glands. I'm a mess, by the way. But it didn't sink in how shitty those diseases were. You know what it felt like? To finally, after so many years, be validated it wasn't in your mind. And he even apologized. He goes, I'm sorry what all these people did to you, what they said to you, all the shit that they put you through. It is not in your head, Heather. I promise you. You are going through one of the rarest combinations of autoimmune. To have scleroderma, sarcoidosis, and lupus attached to each other. He goes, but I don't believe you have fibromyalgia. He goes, I want you to go for a biopsy for neurology. He goes, the people that I know, I trust them. I want you to go there. Now, mind you, it was 90 fucking degrees outside. I'm already freaking reacting. My body's on fire. I'm swelling like the freaking 9 hills, which is a sign of small fiber neuropathy. The neurologist's like, I can tell you right now you have it, but I have to do the biopsy because Dr. Shapiro's Dr. Shapiro, and I ain't getting yelled at by him. So she did the biopsy, one on my left ankle, one on my right wrist, or vice versa. Right wrist. I still have the mark. And he gave me my results. I think I might have the paper here. No. It says on the paper, Miss Heather Burns, I want to let you know that you came back as a strong positive for small fiber neuropathy. You were wrongly diagnosed with fibromyalgia. You have, in fact, small fiber neuropathy. Now, he put that in big, bold, damn letters and sent it to every doctor who misdiagnosed me. And he was like, you already on Lyrica. You've already tried every other medication. There is no cure for this. There's only progression, and we can only help you deal with the pain. I am sorry. Small fiber neuropathy is the peripheral nerves inside all your organs, your entire body, and it affects the GI system. It affects everything, your heart, anything. Yes, I can die from it. Now, remind you, I have a multi-tissue connective disorder now, and if it wasn't for that freaking man, if it wasn't for the man I saw that was about to retire, he was about to retire right after me. Like, no joke, 2 weeks later, if it wasn't for me seeing that guy and for me not giving up hope, for me keep fighting for fucking results, I would never know what the hell's wrong with me. I would have gave up, feel like it's in my head, fucking destroy my body, and probably would have died by now. That's what I fucking went through. And that's just with my autoimmune. It went for years. I suffered, got surgeries. Nobody can help me. I was failing left and right, and nobody can give me answers. And my GI doctor even said, if they don't diagnose you soon with whatever's wrong with you, you're going to die. And I'm like, and that was actually my surgeons that did my gallbladder and my ERCP for my liver. And my point is even when I was going to give up, find the rest of that fucking fight and fight for every bit you need to fight for. If you want to be heard, make someone hear you. Don't quit and don't give up. I went through years of doctors treating me like shit. Nobody believing me. You are your own best advocate. Remember that. You hire them. They don't hire you. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. Find somebody else then that doesn't listen, because I did it 11 times. By the way, my primary then, who didn't, thought I was misdiagnosed and, treated me like whatever type of way then, she is amazing now. I think what I went through made her realize a lot. And I'm sure what other patients she had went through. You can't look at numbers and ages and think everybody's the same. We're not. Fight to be heard, guys. Fight it. Because it's bullshit that doctors sit on their fucking high horse. And by the way, most rheumatologists have no idea about rare autoimmune, especially scleroderma. And if it wasn't for those two doctors that worked together because they were friends, I might not even be here. So I don't care how much you want to give up. Fight it. Go above and beyond. Your life is damn important. And just because those arrogant pricks don't want to hear you out, or because of your age, or because you look good, or some other bullshit, Or say you're overweight and they want to blame it on that. Or so you have anxiety on your freaking file. They're going to say that you're freaking mental. Fucking fight it. Fight it. Because don't ever fucking let anyone tell you it's in your freaking head. Ever. Because no matter how many times I wanted to commit suicide, no matter how many times I wanted to give up, because the quality of life sucks, it gets better, fight it. Don't freaking quit on yourself. Just because they want to be that way, find somebody else that will hear you. Because you need that patient bond with your doctor. And if they don't genuinely give a shit about you, then you need to genuinely walk the fuck away. I'm just letting you guys know I'm making this 15 minutes. I'm sorry it is long. It's just the way it goes. I'm actually surprised it's out longer because I tried to make it cut corners as much as I can. I will do a part 2 and tell you what happened exactly with my denture journey, when I cannot get emotional with that. I hope you guys have a great night. God bless, guys. Stay safe and healthy. Love you guys. Good night.